I'm here. Welcome to another Retainer Designer live stream. This is a test run of how fast can I do a Hawley start to finish. So it looks like we already got a comment in here from Mr. Martinez. I'm waiting. 3 to 3 with C-clasp, 7 minutes total. Greeting from Tennessee. Like bending a 3 to 3 with C-clasp. That's pretty good. Does that include welding too? So this one is, so what I want to do in a future video is do a retainer start to finish. I'm talking prepping, wire bending, acrylicing, trimming, pumicing, all the way to the end. I want to see how long it takes me to do a retainer start to finish. So I have if y'all don't know yet, I have a conference coming up next weekend in Irving. So if you're coming, I'm looking forward to seeing y'all there. So that the Irving conference is it's the largest orthodontic lab conference in the world, and so we're gonna have 2 full days of classes and stuff. So I'm helping to set up, and I'm gonna be there. So I probably won't be live streaming next Friday. I'm gonna be at that conference, but be sure and subscribe and click the notification bell, because I may go live surprisingly from the exhibit hall. So I may give a tour of the exhibit hall and all the exhibitors there. If y'all watched my last podcast, I did the robot wire bender. They're going to be there. So that's going to be great. Volume is low. Let me get that. I'm using new equipment. That's another reason for this test stream is I'm using new equipment, so I'm having a hard time. So there we go. I just doubled the volume. Hopefully that didn't blast y'all out too bad. I'm going to turn it up here also, if I can. Let me turn my mic up. Yeah, I was noticing I'm using a new streaming deck thing, and I've noticed I got great volume there, but when I go into StreamYard here, the volume's not too low. Oh, perfect. Okay, good. Thanks for letting me know. Oh, perfect. Volume is too low. Yeah. Not me. You want me to do a 3 to 3 with C-clasp in 7 minutes? I don't know. I don't think I can do that. That including welding? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll try it on the next how fast can I bend something 3 to 3 with C-clasp. 7 minutes. That's a good goal. And I'm going to include C-clasp with that. So that's the other reason I'm doing this test stream is I want to do, I want to see what my setup needs to be, because I'm going to have different cameras everywhere. So I got this camera, and I have this camera, and I have the camera over by my acrylic. That is not the camera over by my acrylic station. What's going on here? Oh. Wait a minute. Oh, there. Pushed the wrong button. So I have that, and I have this. So I haven't set this up yet. It's kind of different. But so then I need to move that camera after the pressure pot and go into there. So, not with welding. Okay, I can do soldering if you want. I'll try that. So today I'm going to do a retainer start to finish, but it may take me. I'm not going to time myself. I don't want that kind of stress. But I want to see what kind of setup I need around here in my little lab, camera-wise, so y'all can follow the journey with me. But I'm not going to have the timer going. So I'm going to kind of get an idea, and then I'll time myself. Probably in 2 weeks I'll probably go live with this. But I'll be at the conference next week. That's why I mentioned. Make sure you hit the notification bell or whatever you subscribe, because I'll go live. It'll probably be spur of the moment kind of thing. So, but if y'all want to see the conference, we are recording. So if y'all are interested in that, I can put the link. Type in the comments below if y'all want to see official recordings of the courses. I can put the link to that down below. It's still a registration. It's kind of like a live stream, but it's only going to happen. It's not going to happen at the same time as the conference. So I'm going to be recording them and then posting them up a few hours to a few days later. But you get to see all that. My camera just went to sleep. So I'm down to 3 cameras. See, things I'm running into as we go. So, and I do have this one. Can you see this? So this is something that the conference bought, and it's an overhead cam. It is a pretty cool thing, and so I'm going to be experimenting with that today. And we getting too much. Let me adjust this. I like the adjustability of it. I can swing it, rotate it. So I'm going to be doing just a basic Hawley for one of the doctors I need to work on today. We'll just go with a stone model, and that looks way too bright. Let me turn off the bright. This thing has brightness on it. Did I just turn that off? Yeah. Now it's off. Still a little bright. Let's turn that off. Turn this on. I'm going to close the blind. See, this is the things I'm running into. There's somebody calling for the conference. But I think I have a picture-in-picture here. Do I have a picture? No. That is the picture. Well, that is the same picture in the picture. So let's go. Let me do. Change the picture-in-picture. Source is 2. Okay. So got picture-in-picture, so I can talk to the camera while I'm working. But we are working on this. Let me see if I can. That is wrong. Why is this so bright? Oh, I can do this. There we go. It's got a little exposure thing on it. Oh, that's nice. All right, so let me get a knife. And so these I need to do bracket carving, but I'm thinking, and y'all let me know, I'm going to do a 3D printed model or a plaster model for my how fast can you. I'm kind of leaning toward a plaster model. I think I can do that better because one thing I want to do is, let's see, can I do this? One thing I want to do is have the start to finish, right? I need to do the different steps. What am I trying to say here? And what am I going to include? You know, when you call a doctor and you ask and they say, "Hey, can you rush me one?" It's like, "Sure." They're like, "When can you get it here?" And you're like, 3 hours. They're like, "Does it take you 3 hours to make one?" And you're like, "No, it doesn't." But right now, I just say these would take me an hour to make. And so in this test stream, I'm going to see, am I going to start from prepping stages like I'm doing now and work my way all the way to the end? When I'm done polishing, I'm done. Or I'm done QCing, am I done? So that's kind of what I'm working out here and kind of making some rules. So let me know in the comments what rules, what should I include in a official start to finish Hawley retainer? Because right now, as I'm thinking, I'm going to include, like starting right now, you know, this one had brackets and I had to carve the brackets off, but that's not standard. So I don't think I'm going to include that in the, include a bracket carving in there. Because if it's digital, I do bracket carving digitally. So that way I can make this true to life, you know what I mean? Make this where it's like it's real. I want to know, and again, if y'all are doing this kind of work, it's always good to know, wherever you're at in your career, it's always good to know how fast can you make a Hawley retainer start to finish. And then you can better plan your day. And you know, when you stack these, you know, you do 4 at a time or 6 at a time, you actually reduce the amount of time that it takes to make one, if that makes sense to y'all. So let me get my pink separator and paint this on here. So yeah, all this is going to be included. And this is one reason I was thinking of doing the test with a plaster model because the separating procedure for a 3D printed model takes much longer. Again, I have to use 2 coats for both separators. I have to use, like I use this for this pink separator for plaster, and I use my green separator for 3D printed models. But the green separator for 3D print takes longer to dry, and it's got to be absolutely dry before you start. Whereas in this case, this doesn't need to be dry. I forgot to prep this. I do have these things. Usually I trim these so they fit my model, but I'm going to use this and hope I don't cut a finger off live on the air. So these are just gardening shears. I got this tip from the guy I used to work for, Jason Brown. He had these things, and they saved a lot of time. So you didn't have to trim the model on your model trimmer and then wait for your model to dry. So you can, it's nicer to work on a dry model. It makes your separator dry faster because this separator actually soaks into the model, whereas the 3D printed separator, 3D models separator, it dries. It doesn't soak into the model. It coats on top. It almost floats on top, so it takes longer to do that. All right, so then I'm going to move to bending. So I have all my pliers out. So I need to prep all these stations because I'm going to try to do it as fast as I can. We all have turbo mode. Anyway, freshly watched the last stream. I did a labial bow. How fast can I bend a labial bow? And it was surprisingly, I did it a little bit faster than I thought it would. I usually give myself like 10 minutes, and I was kind of getting done in 5, which was surprising. Again, I wanted to do this live stream earlier today, but I had some errands to run in town and I couldn't get free. And of course, a lot of conference stuff going on because I'm helping with this conference and making the speakers happy and the exhibitors happy and all that stuff. So if you're watching this, not in the live stream, maybe a recording months or years down the road, first off, hello. In the future, I hope the future's okay. If it's not, I just cursed it, I guess. Hopefully I didn't. You can, and when I speak up about the conference, it's usually the same time every year. And it is usually around the end of March, beginning of April. So this one's April 5th and 6th in Irving, Texas, and it's usually 2 full days of Ortho Lab classes. And if you're a CDT or wanting to be a CDT, it's a great place to get continuing education credits. Okay, I need to, almost lost that forever. I need to put that in my notes for this. So that way, y'all can keep an eye out on the timer, because I'll probably have it up in one of the corners up here when I do the timer. Because it's going to be a little bit more difficult than how fast can I bend a labial bow. Because I got to move around to different stations. Got to have each station prepped. Got to have a camera at each station. So it's going to be a little difficult to live stream. So if you're just tuning in, that's why we're doing a test stream. I'm going to take this retainer start to finish, and just kind of figure out which cameras I need and where they need to be set up, because I didn't want to like be timing myself and then realize, oh, I got to go move a camera, and then that cuts into my time. Also, I will be taking requests for colors. This one I'm not going to because it has to be a certain color, but I think I'm just going to use a dummy model next time, which means it's not tied to an actual patient. And that way I can take requests of colors from the gallery, from the audience. And most of those colors are behind me here. You can kind of see. So pretty much I have all the different colors. I have, and all of them in luminary, all of them in royal, all of them in transparent, and I have all of them in glitter and stuff like that. So, well, I just messed that up, didn't I? Go back to here. Man, that's not fair. I need to save that. So yeah, I'm using a new streaming deck thing. That's another thing. I need to test that out. Plus, I'm using this. I'll put a link in my YouTube. The things I order for my lab. I'm gonna put it down. Oh, I'm doing this. I don't know how much talking I can do during the timed session. See, I almost forgot the second coat of separator. Now, what was I talking? Oh, talking about the new streaming deck thing that I'm using. Trying to get a more permanent setup in my lab here, and that way I can go live or record whenever on a whim when I'm ready. I feel like that's still dim. Is that dim for y'all? Let me brighten this up one more notch. Do I have a light? Nope. Back on. Okay. I'm going to get something. A knife. I don't see the knife I like. Okay. Now this one's going to have different clasp than what I'm going to do during the live stream on that dummy model I've been talking about. Is I'm going to do just basic ball clasp. So I just want to do a basic Hawley, just a labial bow, acrylic, one color acrylic, no fancy designs or anything. And ooh, this is going to be lapis blue. No fancy designs or anything, just to get a basic idea. And again, this should help all of you out there. Again, I would suggest you do this, I would say once a year. You know, just test your skills, see where you're at with where you're going. And then Mr. Martinez. Then maybe I can do a series of these. How fast does a 3-3 labial bow with C-clasp take? That kind of thing. So let me know if you watch this later or when you're watching this live, what you'd like to see speed-wise. And I've never claimed to be the fastest. There are people out there way faster than me. But this one's not going to get ball clasp. They like to use undercut clasp, and that's what I was prepping. I don't know if you can zoom in. Yeah. So that's what I was prepping right here. Is I was I'm getting right in between those teeth, removing some of the gums. So the wire, and I'm going to use 025 wire, right in between the teeth. And so I'm just taking a little knife, or I can take a burr. I do this a lot. It preps faster, but you got to be careful because you can't get into the. So I have a little cutting burr here, and you can just stick it in the in between the teeth. But you don't want to get it where you carve on the tooth too much, because that's going to make the retainer not fit. All right, so 025 wire. So far, so good. Of course, I sit at this station most often anyway. I got to back out a little bit so you can see the wire bending. This little overhead camera is going to help, I think. Again, I haven't done it yet, but come back, or if you're watching this later, I'll add this little camera right here to my Amazon list. You can see what I bought. It's a great little overhead camera. I think it's for like teachers and stuff. Hey, Sybil. I see you. Hi. You can come say hi if you want. Hello, let's do this. It's this camera right here. So if you know, this is Sybil. I made her lower retainer, says she wanted all the colors. So I made, where's it at? Let me see. Is it in there? It's not in there. She's not wearing it like she's supposed to. Anyway, we'll get back to working. Source. So this is something new I got to do. That's not what I wanted. There we go. So as I work through this, any requests on colors for the live stream, the actual timed live stream? I think maybe, I always do an after stream for my podcast, for my Patreon subscribers. Maybe I'll just do another retainer start to finish, and then we can compare, the differences between the different, and it'll be a different model, I would say. Maybe we do one that's an actual patient, and we'll see how that goes. Or we'll do different clasp, because different clasp will take different times. So that's why I'm doing a ball clasp. That's the easiest clasp probably. That and finger clasp, which is the same thing. This is not laying down like I want. Come on. These are all the things that start adding up when, there we go, when you start trying to rush yourself. And I think all of us all have like a turbo mode. Don't like to use it all the time, but because it'll tire you out. But it's good to time yourself, but time yourself in turbo mode, going as fast as you can, but also time yourself in, just normal day pace. That way you have a good idea of how long this is going to take you. If there is a rush, you can tell the doctor with pretty certainty, hey, I can make that in an hour and get it over there. The ultimate test, if they really, really need this rush, it's not just, hey, the family's leaving for France, tomorrow, they need it today. The real true test, if they want the rush, is 1, will they pay the rush fee? 2, are they willing to send a driver over to get it? And that has happened before, where I've told them I can do this and it can be done in an hour, but I don't have a way of delivering it to you. I got too much other work to do today, And so they hired a carrier service to actually come to my lab way out here in the country and pick it up and take it back to them. So that was pretty cool. I was like, well, they truly meant it then. They truly meant that that was a true rush. Now that case, they weren't leaving for France. I can't remember what the rush was. I think maybe that they had a due date of a certain day, and they accidentally scheduled them, or somebody rescheduled them 2 days early. Maybe probably because they were going to France. But these are called undercut wires. I think I have done these before on the channel. Maybe we could do a challenge. Have Steve Zara do I'm sure he's 10 times faster than I am. Being a one-man show for a decade longer than I have, he's probably got some really cool tips and tricks. But, maybe I can, start a timer like I did last time on the labial bow and have it going the whole time. And so, yeah, what we're doing now is we're kind of setting the rules. So we're going to, right now, first rule is you have to prep the model. That's included, because that's going to be included in the time that, you tell the doctor it's a rush. All right, so I like to have all my wires kind of pointing forward. And we are ready for acrylic. Now, hopefully my camera is still set up on the other side. So let me get set up over there. I'm going to turn this fan on. Hopefully it doesn't get too loud. And let's go over to, let's see, there we go. Give me a chance to adjust the camera a bit. I need to make sure I do the right color. Lapis blue. So that's this color. I do like being so close to almost where I can just, turn around right where I'm at. So let's see if I can zoom in a bit. Maybe that's too much. Get this camera. So this is gonna kind of tell me, is this a good camera to use or not? There we go. Okay, so my usual. I usually like to put a clear coat down, and I'll put the name in. Now, on the live stream, to be true to my lab, I'm going to put, even though it's going to be a dummy model, I'm going to put a name in there. And so I think what I'm going to do is when everybody submits their color choice for what color they want me to do it, I will make a name using the person who submitted that color. So if you say, I want luminary green, and I decide to make it luminary green, I'll make a name. I'll use your name and put it in the retainer. And I think that will be, that'll make it fun. And I tried to get a duck cam again. I think I'm either need to be in the range of my Wi-Fi or I need better cell phone reception. outside, and I need another tripod. I'm always seem to be one tripod short. Oh, somebody's trying to call. So, note to self, need to mute all. Oh, there they go again. Need to mute all phone calls. This is actually a good angle. I don't know if you can tell from the picture-in-picture. I have my cell phone. Oh, this would just. I have it right here at face height. So if you're wondering why I'm spraying this monomer on instead of doing drip by drip by drip by drip, it's because the blue powders tend to separate with the monomer. So if I do drip, 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 sometimes it'll push the blue pigment over to the border and you'll get kind of a marbly effect. It's kind of cool, but if you're just wanting a nice solid blue model, it's going to kind of mess that up. So I am slowing it down a bit with the clear. So I'm putting a clear coat over the top. I'll use my finger to kind of pat down the acrylic. And then I'm going to do one last layer to kind of freeze everything from slumping. Now I am using slump-free Ortho Clear powder from JBC and Company, 401. But I also have this that I use at the same time. So I'm going to let this. Let this sit just a bit. Let it get its initial set. But to keep it, I have a round bottle here. Well, I have a round bottle here, and I have like an Elmer's glue bottle. And so I put one type in one and one type in the other. I've actually marked this one. So I know the difference, and I'll go back and forth. Again, I use the splint one for labial bow, labial acrylic, bite plates, splints, things like that. And I'll use the 401 for just basic retainers. So this is non-slumping. It acts a little bit different. It's good to, if you are new to acrylicing, try that non-slumping formula, because it'll make your life a little bit easier as you're learning. Because if you've done it, you know that the acrylic is a little hard. It'll slump on you if you're not careful. So doing this right here will save me some trim time. I'm all about anything you do, the step before the more you do the step before should reduce the time for the next step. So I'm going to put this in the pressure pot. Well, I guess you're coming with me. I actually have 2 retainers in here already. So I'll put this in at 405. So we're already 30 minutes into it. While I'm standing here where we're waiting. So that needs about 5 to 10 minutes. Oh, this is a messy little place here, isn't it? So we need like 5 to 10 minutes to get that to cure. And so I'm going to take all these off. First thing I do is clear out the sticky wax. And then try to get my knife up underneath. Sometimes I have to put it like on. That's what this towel is for. Kind of acts like padding. So getting these off 3D printed models is always a little, got to hold your breath. All right. We will leave that camera there and move around to here, and I'll answer some questions while we wait. And I think that's what I'm going to do. At the conference. See, my mind is on conference, so that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm going to include that in the time. Because if you tell someone it's going to take you an hour, you can't subtract out pressure pot time. So you need to make sure you include pressure pot time. Now again, I'll need 5 to 10 minutes to let that cure, and I'm letting it cure on the cup first, and then I will put it in the water, let it do its final cure there. So I think at 4:05, maybe another minute or two, I'm going to take that out of the pressure pot, or put it in the water and repressurize it. Hello, Bastian Andres. Hello, how are you? Greetings from Chile. Ooh, could you recommend me some orthodontic books? I'm a dental technician in Chile. That is a great question. Let me go see if I can show those to you. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. I've got to go to my office where I have them. Hello, wife. Okay, getting the books. Okay, so these are what I have here. So let me clear out a spot here and start with the top. Oh, here we go. Let's zoom out. And so this is called Orthodontic Laboratory Techniques. I don't know if it's in print anymore. You might be able to find it in eBay or something like that. It's by, let me take this off so you can see. Al McOrmond, RDT. He's actually in Canada is where he wrote this. So he's George Brown College. Let's see, do I have a light? Yep. Let's get some. George Brown College, Dental Technology Department, Ontario. It's WD Publishing from 1996. So this is what we used in my school. So I went to lab school. If y'all don't know, I went to lab school, went to, and then I specialized in ortho, and this was our ortho book that we used in lab school. So it's got some colored pictures. You just saw me do this in the pressure pot. Speaking of pressure pot, let me go switch that real quick, but it's got some wire bending techniques and stuff. It's pretty good. Now the gauges and stuff you probably use them in Chile, like this, American wire gauges. So like I just bent that in 032. Actually, I did an 030, so that they don't have an 030 here. So this is the closest one, which is 20 gauge. Those little clasping was 025, and that's gauge 22. So he had to include this little chart in here, which is nice. The second book, let me change this over. And I'm hoping you can get this. This is probably the premier book right now. I don't know if you've heard of Great Lakes Orthodontics. I've mentioned them a few times. You can get, in my last video, I talked about my pliers that I bought from Great Lakes. There's links to that. It's greatlakesdentaltech.com or something like that. And same thing, it's definitely thicker, so it covers a lot more. Now, they tend to cover more into their what they sell, but you can see it's a pretty good book. But this gets into anatomy and stuff. But deciduous teeth and things like that. But there is actually, let me get to an end of a chapter here. Chapter references, so it's very well researched, but there's also quizzes at the end. And so you can actually take a quiz once you read a chapter and test yourself on it. So that's one book that's good. And so the last one isn't necessarily a book, but it's called The Bible, the Dental Technology. This is the Air Force Manual. You can find reprints of these. This is I got from my lab school, and they teach everything. I'm talking dentures, partials, and this is from '91. I think they've done a reprint. So here's like, so if you're familiar with dentures and stuff. So this is the Air Force Manual pamphlet 162-6. There are different subsections. So like here's another one. So this is removable. This is basic sciences. Here's prosthodontic and orthodontic appliances. So you can actually well, I'm not getting into that. Oh, you can actually make fake noses and stuff. There's not much as far as ortho in here. There's a basic knowledge. Here we go. Here's wire bending a labial bow, right? So that will, nice drawings, I guess, of an Adam's clasp and stuff like that. And I think this is where I learned how to do my Adam's clasp. So my most famous video is Adam's clasp, and this is kind of the technique I use. Let's see if I can switch this camera around. Zoom in a bit so you can see that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. So anyway, so those are the three. I know you can pick up this somewhere, the Air Force Manual, but this is probably the biggest, thickest one, most recently done book out there. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully you can find them. Great Lakes Orthodontics, Orthodontic Laboratory Techniques by Al McOrmond, and that kind of thing. So, oh, hello, Sajid Baghari. Sorry, I'm trying these names. I'm not very good. What do you need? What do you need? Last one was very hard to get. Treasure, yes, the Air Force Manual. I did see some on Amazon, like some reprints of it. Another one is NBC Cert, bccert.org. If you go there, this is the National Certification Board, and you can get certified in ortho. They have some reference list in that website, and you can do that. You can search for books or pamphlets or web pages there. So, but hang out with the channel. Hang in there. I'm going to do my online courses soon. I'm building them as we speak, and they'll be for sale soon. Now that I've got my camera set up, I can actually do the videos easier, like doing wire bending course. That would be my first one, wire bending 101. So, Sajjad, I'm sorry if I messed it up. Happy to join your live. Yay! I'm glad you're here live too. And sorry it's so random lately, but again, next week we'll be at the largest Ortho Lab conference in the nation, in the world. It's April 5th and 6th. It's in Irving, Texas. I'm helping to set it up. I don't know if I'm going to have, it's Friday and Saturday. I don't know if I will have enough time to do a live stream, but I will try. So be sure and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you'll get an alert. I may go live randomly in the exhibit hall when we have exhibit hall time, and we'll talk to some exhibitors and stuff. That wire bending robot's going to be there live, and I'm very excited to see it if y'all watch my podcast. So we are ready. Excuse me, need to drink some water. Let's take this out of the pressure pot. I'm going to switch my camera over there. So it has been 12 minutes. Probably did not need that long, but you know, I went over. Sorry about my messy towel here. Get all that out of the way. That's wax, and that's my hot glue gun. So these are way easier to take off the model than 3D printed ones. There we go. Just realized I don't have my steamer turned on, so I'm gonna go do that real quick. And we need to change cameras again because I'm gonna be coming to the, oh, my steamer is on, yay. I thought ahead. So let me change over to this camera. I'll be right back, hold on a second. See, this is where I need a, oh, Amazon's here. I don't know if they need to sign for anything. Let's see, I'm going to try my best to, there we go. All right, let's switch this over. This is probably not the best. Yeah, there we go. See my dirty trim box? So I'm going to go and steam off this wax that's on here. So I used wax to hold all those little undercuts in. I'm going to go steam that. So hold your ears for a second. All right, let's turn on my, so I like to use an acrylic wheel. Let me double check and make sure that is in. So I need to work on getting, ooh, that is too dark. I need to work on getting better lighting in here, huh? This is not key, so I'm gonna turn on my suction. So I'm just gonna bulk trim this. I usually like to do the border. This doctor doesn't like full palette acrylic, so I'm making it what we call horseshoe. And depending on how well you did with your acrylic, the less trimming you have to do, the faster you are at trimming. So sometimes taking your time in the beginning steps will save you time. Okay. Turn that off. So I just got kind of the thickness that I liked. And so I'm going to use my burr. Here we go. Hopefully this isn't the bent one. Nope. Then, oh, you know what I like to do? I like to use these stainless steel bristle brushes and clean up around the wires so that I don't have to get close to the wires with the burr, because, you know, if you hit the wires with the burr, Yeah. If you hit the wires with the burr, you're going to nick the wire. It's going to make it weak. It's going to break. You're going to have to replace it for free. Because wires probably should not break very easily. This is really if, after the acrylic breaks, in general, usually the patient's fault. They dropped it, they stepped on it, they sat on it. You got run over by a car. That has happened in real life. But the wires, on the other hand, they don't necessarily break out of the clear blue. There are some instances where they will bite on the wire, or if the wire has to flex a lot going in and out, or I guess if the kid plays with it, it can actually weaken the wire right here at the joint if they're just playing with it back and forth, popping it in and out of the mouth with their tongue. The good news is, they're playing with it, that means they're wearing it. So that is the good news. So now I'm just going around, just thinning out. It's a little thick. You don't want to make it too thin, then it gets weak. You don't want to make it too thick. The kid won't wear it because it takes too long to train the tongue not to talk with a slur. Ooh, that scared me. I think I got my finger. I could have probably spent more time on this big wheel thinning this down, but I kind of wanted to do it by hand. Okay. Oh, so now I'm going to put it on the model. Make sure, I got the right height around the teeth. I got the right border. Everything is good, looks good. I got the right thickness. Now you can just tell by pinching it. You want 2 to 3 millimeters thickness. They'll say it in many of those books that I showed just recently. So this is just sandpaper. It's on a split mandrel. I get it from the same place I got the book from, Great Lakes Orthodontics. And they sell the sandpaper on a roll like this. And you just tear off a chunk, tear off a strip, put it into the split mandrel. And what this does is smooths out all those, when you use a burr like this, you'll get small tiny scratches in here, and this just will even out all those scratches. It just makes pumiceing go so much easier, and like I said before, the more time you spend on the step before, it makes the next step go by quicker. Which, when you have a team, somebody's bending the wire, somebody else is sprinkling. If you make the person behind you, the next step in the line, do more work, they're not going to be happy. Okay, let's set up for pumiceing. So I'm going to need like 2 cameras ready to go. That's something I'm learning. I might have a webcam on a swivel that I can just rotate around and show this. Let's see, where's the best place for this? I'm setting up a camera if you can't see me. Oh, let me turn that off because that is going to be. So this is a final stage. I don't even have this in the camera yet. Which one is this? That one. Okay. So I'm probably going to go ahead and have this prepped and wet it down. I need a little bit of water. I am soaking the wheel right now, so I'll probably have that already soaking when I do this live. I think I want just a touch more pumice in there, some fresh stuff. Oh, I'm gonna have to order pumice soon. If you are curious, this is pumice substitute. It's called PS Dazzle. PS standing for Paul Sheffield. I'm kidding. It stands for pumice substitute. I'm going to turn my... Yeah, it's by Whip Mix, PS Dazzle. There is some thoughts that this is not very good for your lungs. It's good to use natural pumice. It won't hurt your lungs as bad, but I feel like if you got really good ventilation and you keep it wet, you shouldn't have that much of a problem. All right, so let's pumice this thing. So when we do this live, well, I'm doing this live for now, I know I am, but when I go to time myself, I'm going to have everything ready. Now, one cool thing that I saw at this conference one year, this is probably back 2014, I've been going to this conference for many, many years, and it's just only gotten bigger and bigger. We actually had an Ortho Lab set up in one of the rooms. We had a lathe, we had steamer, we had a laser welder at that point, actually. It was a big, huge thing. And acrylicing, we had wire bending, we had everything. And so one of the instructors, Norm McMillan, which I'll have to get on the podcast soon, he's an amazing guy. He's an artist. And I learned a lot from him. And he did Adam's class, and he actually learned from the guy who learned from Dr. Adams, who invented it. So he's almost a direct line to Dr. Adams. Okay, so I got the pumice, so I'm just going to rinse it. Yeah, so now that I'm seeing this, I think I might have to have like 2 cameras over here, because this is going to go pretty quick. Once you get to this stage, it's pretty quick. Do the labial bow a little bit. So this is my favorite part. It gets all nice and shiny. I do like this lapis blue. Okay, we are finished. So then the next question is, do I include QC? And I'm thinking I should, because that's, sorry. If you do QC, if you do have to do a rush and you need to know how fast you can do it, you probably need to do QC. You probably need to do it QC time. So I'm going to QC these. I didn't include ultrasonic. Usually I put these in ultrasonic with a little disinfectant, get them to disinfectant for about 5 minutes. So I'm going to tighten this labial bow just a bit. It's not very good on the teeth, but hey, Sarah. Are you here, Sarah? Hey, is my happy bending cup in there? No, I see it. It's in here. No, I can get up and get it. All right. So that was QT time. So that's where I would cut it right there. So what are we at? An hour. I started at 3:30-ish. You know, I talked about prepping. I did prepping. We did, what else did we do? Wire bending, acrylic application. We had to wait on the pressure pot. That's when I talked about those books. We did trimming, we did pumicing, we did polishing, and then QCing, and now we're done. So those are the 10 steps. 10, I don't know, I didn't count that. Prepping, wire bending, acrylic, pressure pot time, trimming, pumicing, and polishing. So 6 steps. So we're going to include those 6 steps next time we do this, and we're going to make it efficient. We're going to have a timer going. I think I can probably get around the 40-minute stage. It depends on what problems I run into and stuff, but that's why we did this test run to see what problems I'm going to run into. And it looks like I'm pretty much, it'll go faster if I have cameras already set up at the different stations, and I've got to figure out how to do that. IPEG, when we start the courses, it's important to have, yes. Well, right now what I'm thinking about doing is the Patreon group. I'm going to do live coaching. There's a $50 level and a $100 level, I think. One is $50 level is once a month coaching, and one is once a week coaching. For those that sign up for those levels, once a week or once a month, we'll get on a thing like this, a private chat. You can submit your questions beforehand, and I'll try to answer them and solve, teach you through the thing, and then we'll use those as the courses starting out. And then in the background, I will be teaching the wire bending and the acrylic and all that stuff step by step by step. So that should be starting soon. I do have the Patreon already up. We won't do an after one today because I'm already running over as far as the time, but that's what we can do sometimes is I can't do the after stream, but hopefully it will be live from the conference next week. If I can, I'll try to sneak one of the conference's talks to y'all in a live stream, and so that might be cool. So yeah, keep an eye out. I think in the description below there's a link called courses.retainerdesigner. You can go there. I try to keep it updated as much as possible. And there's also a Patreon link, so you can kind of look and see what the different levels are and things like that. But all levels, they get after stream and a little bit more of a lesson when I get a chance to. Won't do it today, but maybe next time I do a live stream, we'll do the after stream. We'll do a whole nother retainer, start to finish, see if my time changes. What brand of acrylic did you use? I use JBC and Company is the brand of acrylic that I use. They're here in Texas. She has formulated her own acrylic, and she is actually the first FDA approved orthodontic acrylic. So that's the lapis blue that I used to make this retainer. So that's lapis blue. Can I see my face in there? Screenshot. Oh, you're welcome. So yeah, pay attention for the courses. They are coming soon, and that was my goal. That's my goal this year, is to have something launched by the end of the year, and it might just have to be in pieces. Oh, you're welcome. Hopefully y'all can, wherever you're located, Bagari, wherever you're located, hopefully you can order from her. I think she does ship out of the States, but you're going to want to, it's going to cost a lot, so you're going to buy a lot of stuff. Now, these behind me, you can actually buy a kit. I want to say it's $2,000 to $3,000, and that's what I started with, a kit. And you get these size bottles. And notice I still have some because I don't use them, some of these colors as much. They last a long time. And you'll get one, pretty much one of every one of her colors, and you can just start from the beginning with her colors. Her name's Priscilla. She's actually going to be at the conference. So if you are coming to the conference, you get to, she has a booth. You get to meet her, and you can pick her brain on acrylic questions. She's a genius in that stuff. Oh, you're welcome. So with that, I'm going to call it a day. and we did a Hawley start to finish, our test run. This has been the test run of the Hawley start to finish, and we did it in about an hour, I think, maybe a little less. So maybe I can hit 30 minutes if I got everything set up right. So keep an eye out for 2 weeks from now, and then a week from now I'll be at the conference. So I'll try to, again, subscribe, click the notification bell to so you get alerted, because I probably will go live without announcing it, and I'll try to sneak some videos to y'all live from the conference. So that would be fun. With that being said, I'm going to end the stream here. Let me get my fancy little outro going here. Yeah, and oh, I don't want to forget this. It's dirty, but my happy bending cup, I got them made. So they're actually, if you're watching YouTube, they're in probably a link down below. But this one, it's metal. It's the camping mug. It's my favorite one. It's got a surprise. For those of you that have watched the channel for a while, I put Pete on there. Usually he's crowing, but it's very windy right now. So usually he's crowing during my live stream, and you get to see Pete. But until then, I want to tell everybody happy bending, and I'll see y'all next week.
Ah.